I feel like I never use this one, right? Oh, no sirens. Here they come. Here we go. Let's see. Real YouTubist eat spicy food for lunch. I don't have an especially high spice tolerance. My finest, my masterpiece, my finest work. Okay, so here's the deal. So there I was. Not playing Pokemon for quite a while. I honestly have not had Pokemon Brain in quite a while. However, the Players' Cup is coming up on this weekend, I think. No, I'm positive. It's definitely coming up this weekend. And your boy needs a team. So, today I woke up. I did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. Thank you very much. I've eaten some lunch. It was spicy. I didn't finish it because I wasn't that hungry. But anyway, I played some Pokemon, which, you know, I haven't been doing very much of, truth be told. I've kind of been doing very little Pokemon stuff. But today I started to get back into it, and I realized that I don't have that great of a handle on the metagame. So I was going to do some research on my own, and then I realized, hey, why don't I do a little bit of what I'm prepping for with you all, and just kind of talk about the current metagame. So I'm on a site I've never actually used before. It's called Pikalytics. I've been hearing about it for a while. I've just never used it myself. But it has usage stats both for Showdown and for Battle Spot. So we can just I'm planning on just kind of taking a look through these, doing a bit of analysis and going from there. If that makes it's kind of loud, isn't it? In it. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of the general thing here. I'll probably talk about the top 10, top 20 Pokemon, just kind of go through them. The first thing that we see here is that on Showdown and on Ladder, Rillaboom is the most popular Pokemon, which I'm a bit surprised about. We see the moves here are pretty standard-ish. Grassy Glide, Priority Grass move, which is very good. 97% of all Rillaboom have this. Fake Out on 86%, and then Knock Off on 71%. Now, these moves are all phenomenal. These are some of the best moves in that game. Then we get a little bit of other options. So Wood Hammer, High Horsepower, and U-Turn are all used here. Superpower, Protect, Taunt, basically tech moves down here. But it looks like the top three are going to be on almost every Rillaboom set. I'm actually shocked to see that Grassy Glide has higher usage than Fake Out. That's really kind of ridiculous. So, wait. What was the other one? Well, I don't know. So that's interesting. We can see that both for... Yeah, the usage is not entirely the same, but the order is very similar. Like, U-Turn's higher than High Horsepower on Showdown. Most of the Rillaboom, over half of them have Assault Vest, as you can see here. We're also just going to assume that anything with Overgrow is a mistake, so... Yeah, and we can actually see the EV spreads here. I'm actually really surprised to see a spread like this. I mean, these are all in the 5%, so 95% of people don't use this, so I'm kind of just going to disregard the EV spreads. But yeah, AV on the majority of Rillaboom, Choice Band on some, Koba on some, Grassy Seed, Life Orb, leftovers on a couple. Miracle Seed is actually really high on the usage stats, which is I'm a little surprised by, personally. Like, I wouldn't expect Miracle Seed to be the second most used item, like over a berry or something, but it also, yeah. I mean, that's surprising. In terms of teammates, a lot of Togekiss and a lot of Porygon2. A lot of Incineroar as well. I mean, with Rillaboom and Togekiss, you get both Fake Out. You get Fake Out, Follow Me, and Terrain. So, that's pretty big. Other Pokemon usage is pretty high here. Primarina, Porygon2. We're going to talk about Porygon2 in a bit, but it's much higher than I would have expected, personally. So, that's interesting. Incineroar, Marowak. I mean, these all just kind of make sense. Like, these are just, like, good Pokemon in general. Talonflame, bleh. Politoed, Tyranitar. Yeah, these all make sense to me. I'm a little surprised to see Rillaboom at number 1, even over Togekiss, both in Isle of Armor, both on Showdown and on Ladder. But yeah, Togekiss is next. We don't really need to talk too much about the moves, although I'm really surprised to see Heat Wave is much higher than Yawn. Wait, what? Wait, what? That can't. Is that right? So someone's going to have to explain this to me, because that's not something that I understand. Yawn has been a staple on Togekiss for the whole metagame, and Heat Wave is kind of like a tech move that you run maybe if you have offensive Togekiss, or maybe if you need certain help with matchups. Very surprised to see it being run here. Like, extremely surprised to see it here at all. So, that's definitely interesting for sure. Togekiss, we don't have to talk too much about. But Scope Lens is on half of Togekiss, so it seems like people are running offensive Togekiss, which then would explain the Heat Wave. And Protect is higher usage than Heat Wave as well. Protect is higher usage than pretty much everything else. It's very interesting. I would not have expected that. Yep, these are not what I would have expected. Truthfully, I'm gonna be completely honest. Scope lens again on what was 60% of Togekiss. That's very interesting. I'll zoom in a little. Maybe it's too zoomed out for. Oh, I'm not gonna zoom in. Sorry, you'll have to deal with small stuff. Yeah. So I'm a little surprised to see that most Togekiss right now are offensive. I mean, the nice thing about Togekiss is you can run Follow Me on an offensive one and it's still fine. But even still, like, I'm a little surprised because offensive Togekiss felt more like it was good at certain points in the meta so far, but I would have expected. I don't think it's not an understatement to say that defensive Togekiss has been kind of a main staple. So it's very interesting to see that the metagame is kind of trending towards a more offensive Togekiss. That's good to know though. So when I see a Togekiss, I know that there's a pretty good chance it's offensive right now. I don't want to dwell too much on Togekiss because I think I've covered the main thing, which is from service, 2.5%. I've covered the main thing, which is that Scope Lens and Togekiss is the current common set, but I am surprised to see that. Let's talk about Indeedee, who's number 3 on the Showdown ladder. Psychic Seed Indeedee is actually the most popular set, even over Focus Sash and Safety Goggles, and Citrus Berry actually has more usage than Safety Goggles. Actually, it's the same as Safety Goggles and Sash. So I would have guessed the items would be Sash, then Goggles, then maybe Psychic Seed, and Citrus Berry I wouldn't really have considered, but yeah. Indeedee seems to be used. Oh, this is in game, not on Showdown. I'm sorry. Little weird to me that Rillaboom is the 4th most common Pokemon paired with Indeedee. They don't complement each other, to be honest. They have contradicting terrains, which get in the way of each other. So, did I even click record? Oh, I am recording. Nice. So that's interesting. Follow Me, Expanding Force, Helping Hand, Protect. Those are the moves I would expect. You can run Ally Switch, Mystical Fire, Heal Pulse. I actually am surprised that Ally Switch isn't even listed here, truthfully. So, yeah. I don't have that much to say about Indeedee. The weird parts to me are that it's paired with Rillaboom. That's very strange to me. The rest of these more or less make sense. Urshifu is actually on here. Counters, I'm not really going to pay attention to the counters because I never thought that kind of data was reliable personally. The number 3 Pokemon on Showdown, however... Okay, so actually, here's something weird. So Indeedee is actually the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th most used Mon on Showdown, but the 3rd most used on Mon on Battle Spot. We can see the teammates are similar. Rillaboom is lower usage, but still up there. Yeah, and Goggles is the number 1 most used item, then Seed, then Sash. So we see... Here's the first kind of, like, big... difference between the two. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. So Goggles being number 1 is more what I would have expected. Yeah, because obviously with the addition of Amoonguss, having a Pokemon that beats it is pretty good. Or like having Goggles on a team is pretty useful, I would say. The moves are also similar. We see Safeguard used here in Ally Switch, which is something I mentioned. But for the most part, you're going to see Follow Me, Expanding Force, Helping Hand, Protect. I think that's going to be almost every set. So the weird thing here is Indeedee's number 10 on Showdown, but number 3 on Battle Spot. Incineroar is next. Fake Out, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, and are on the majority of sets. You can see here they have 80% usage. But the next most common move is Snarl. So seems like Snarl is 22%, Darkest Lair is 22%. I'm actually surprised Lash Out isn't used more. I would definitely expect Lash Out to be used more, but yeah. Burning Jealousy is used a little bit. U-Turn still here, although, yeah, it's probably just in the Assault Vest sets. Most have Agua Berry, which is funny because, I mean, you can see 40% of them are running a 50% Berry at least. Oh, here's another 5%. Yeah, like, almost over half of Incineroar are running a Recovery item, and the rest of them are either running Goggles or Assault Vest, it looks like. And then you have the, an occasional Weakness Policy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Incineroar, like, it's not a new Pokemon. It makes sense that it's, like, really high up in the meta. I don't know how it kind of... I don't know how the inclusion of... the buff to Indeedee with Expanding Force and the inclusion of Rillaboom's Grassy Surge interacts with it, but we can still see that on Battle Spot, Incineroar is still doing quite well. 29% of all teams have Incineroar, so that's noteworthy. Basically, the top 3 Pokemon are going to be used on about 1/3 of all teams, which is quite high. Although not as high as when Incineroar had, like, 80% usage, so... Yeah. Oh, wait, let's look at what's Incineroar paired with. Togekiss, Dragapult. I mean, it's just a support mon. You can pair it with anything. We're going to have to talk about Porygon. I don't know if I've said that already, but yeah, we're going to talk about Porygon. Cinderace is here next. We see Whimsicott is paired with a lot of the time. It's paired with Togekiss a lot of the time, and Rillaboom. And Dracovish actually a fair bit as well. That's a little interesting to me. Some of these partners are a little weird for... excuse me, for me personally. Life Orb is by far the best item on it. Libero is the only item you want, the only move you want. This is bizarre. Okay, so when I was theorying, we almost brought Cinderace to the Players' Cup Invitational. We were considering it at the very least. We never considered High Jump Kick. So to see that High Jump Kick has 88% usage is bizarre. I do not understand that at all. Okay, the moves are more or less what I'd expect. You pretty much run 4 attacks on Cinderace because it needs all 4 moves, but I thought the given moves are Bounce, Sucker Punch, and Iron Head. I was considering dropping Pyro Ball even. I never considered High Jump Kick, so that's very interesting to me that they run High Jump Kick now. Something definitely worth noting. I would not have expected that personally, just from my limited experience of messing around with Cinderace. I guess the ability to raise your attack is nice, but yeah, I am definitely surprised to see this, I'm not going to lie. It's a Pokemon that if it's attacking first, because it has Protean or Libero or whatever you want to call it, it's a very strong offensive mon. So it's paired, as you can see here. The top 3 most used partners are defensive Pokemon. Togekiss, which redirects attacks, Whimsicott, which gives you Tailwind support, and Rillaboom, which offers you Terrain and Fake Out support, as well as a priority Grass attack, which can be useful at times. Then we have a couple other Pokemon. I honestly don't know why Indeedee Male is here. I think it's probably just that Cinderace is a nice, fast offensive mon for Psy-Spam teams, but I don't really know why. Maybe it's just showing me... Oh, no, it's paired with Indeedee Male more than Indeedee Female. I can't explain that to you. I don't understand that at all. Someone maybe... I haven't played very much, as I said, so I'm sure there's an explanation, but I don't understand. Amoonguss, just like Togekiss for redirection. Primarine is a strong special attacker. I was wondering about Cinderace and Incineroar, actually. I was really curious about this, because on the one hand, they're both fire types, and you typically don't want multiple... Like, sometimes it's okay to repeat, but so normally you try to avoid repeating types as often as you can, but because Cinderace can change its type, it, like, kind of is in a weird spot where I don't really know where that falls. Why is it paired with Duraludon 15% of the time? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand this one at all. Cinderace's partners and moves are very interesting to me. I really don't understand them, I'm going to be honest with you. Why are they running High Jump Kick? For Terrakion? Oh, for Terrakion. No, you have Iron Head for Terrakion. Okay, Cinderace's number 4 here as well. Let's see if there's anything different. Bounce is the number 1 used. Yeah, Bounce should 100% be the number 1 move used. Why is High Jump Kick number 1? We see similar stuff here, though. Gunk Shot, that's funny. Rillaboom, Whimsicott, Togekiss, Indeedee. Indeedee Male is the 4th most used mon. Yeah, I don't understand this at all. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do not understand this. Yeah. Counters Cinderace. It's all fire types, funnily enough, which is kind of weird. 3 fire types are the counters, although Cinderace isn't really a fire type, so yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, that's interesting. We've already talked about Incineroar on Showdown. Let's just take a cursory glance through here. Nothing too surprising here. Assaultvest is higher usage than here on the Showdown. Lots of berries, yeah. Nothing too surprising here. Whimsicott, okay, that makes sense. I would expect Whimsicott to be pretty high. Tailwind, Moonblast, Taunt, Switcheroo, and then Protect. So, I mean, everyone has Tailwind. You would not run Whimsicott without Tailwind and Moonblast. These moves are given. Taunt's a great move. I'm not surprised to see it up there. I'm actually surprised Beat Up is only used on a 5th of teams, but I guess, like, you only run Beat Up if you have Terrakion and Cobalion, Terrakion or Cobalion, excuse me, so, yeah. I mean, this is just standard Whimsicott stuff, paired with Cinderace. Paired with Rillaboom as number 2 is very interesting to me. Double Grass type is... I guess I have to throw out what I know about typing. Togekiss makes some sense. Incineroar makes a lot of sense. Indeedee Male... You guys are going to have to tell me how popular... Okay, Indeedee Male is number 12 in usage, above Torkoal, above Primarina, above Tyranitar? Oh, I think I missed that Indeedee Male is good. I think I missed a memo. I did not realize Indeedee Male was good. That explains... It's higher than Venusaur? It's higher than It's higher than Excadrill? Okay. Pretty much everything below here, except for Hawlucha, I would have guessed was better than Indeedee Male. So I have missed a memo, clearly. It appears that Indeedee Male is a lot better than I realized. Okay, now we're into things I kind of expected. Okay, Indeedee Male is somehow good. Did not realize that. Okay, that's going to explain why Indeedee Male is so high in the usage, because it's... Or so high in the teammates thing, because it's high in usage in general. So, I guess that Expanding Force is just broken. Mostly around Focus Sash and Eject Button. Those are pretty even, so no surprises there. I guess if you pair it with Indeedee, any Indeedee pair, you'd use Focus Sash. So, nothing crazy for Whimsicott. Let's go back to... doubles. Oh, wait, we've already been here. Let's go back to Showdown. Okay, number 5 overall in Showdown is Porygon2. So I'm honestly really surprised that Porygon2 is used with this high usage. The reason for that is that I don't know what it does better than Dusclops. Dusclops, as you can see, is all the way down here at 12. Like, Porygon2 is almost double Dusclops' usage. Trick Room, Recover, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Like, this is so surprising to me. They almost all run these 4 moves, and when, like, the ones that don't run Thunderbolt are probably running Tri-Attack, and then some Ally Switch and Shadow Ball garbage, but I'm really surprised because these moves don't seem especially strong against a lot of the Pokemon in the metagame, and Porygon2 does not have especially high special attack. And although, like, it has more consistent recovery than Dusclops' Pain Split, I'm still surprised to see it with such high usage nonetheless, because Dusclops feels like it does more once it hits Trick Room up. With Haze and Pain Split and Nightshade, you're doing consistent damage, whereas Ice Beam and Thunderbolt are oftentimes going to be doing less than Nightshade. And you don't have the option of hazing as well, so I'm honestly very surprised to see it. I see here, though, people are using some modest spreads, although these EV spreads are kind of, like, you can't give too much credit, too much attention to this, in my opinion. I'm very surprised to see Porygon2 this high. I don't understand why it's being used over Dusclops. Maybe typing, only one weakness is better, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm very, very, very surprised, especially as Rillaboom is ticked up, although I guess Rillaboom has knockoff for both of them, so never mind that, but yeah. Yeah, so many of the Pokemon Porygon2 should not be able to hit very well. Incineroar. Actually, you know what? Ice Beam actually ends up hitting Rillaboom, Togekiss, Amoonguss, Dragapult, Whimsicott. Like, Pokemon like Tyranitar are obviously problematic, but, I mean, Porygon2 is better in Indeedee matchup. I guess with Bolt Beam, you hit Primarina. You can't touch Marowak, you can't touch Dusclops. You can't really touch Dracovish. I mean, actually, you know what? Bolt Beam actually has good coverage. I'll give it to you. Bolt Beam actually is hitting a lot of the Pokemon I'm seeing at the top of the usage stats here. So, maybe if Porygon2 is hitting things for super effective damage, it's actually viable. So that might explain it. I'm just kind of talking aloud, trying to figure out why these Pokemon are as high as they are, because, like I said, I would have expected Dusclops to be higher than Porygon. Yeah. Amoonguss, I don't think we have to talk too much about Amoonguss. Okay, I was curious about the items. A lot of focus sashes, way more focus sets than I expected. Okay, most of them are running Koba Berry. That's probably because of the flying type Pokemon. Paired with Incineroar, Tyranitar, Dragapult, Togekiss. It's just a great Pokemon. Okay, this is what I was curious about. What attack are they running as their fourth move? You always want Spore, Rage Powder. I think most of the time you want Protect. I was wondering about the move. It looks pretty actually evenly split, but Pollen Puff is higher usage. That basically means that Amoonguss, you commit to not doing damage, but you're a very strong support Pokemon. Almost everyone's running Regenerator, as they should be. I don't know that much to say about Amoonguss. Yeah. We've already talked about this. We've already talked about this. Whimsicott we've talked about. Dusclops is higher in Battle Spot. It's only slightly higher than Porygon2. I can't see its overall percentage rank. Dusclops is actually running Ally Switch on almost every Dusclops is running Ally Switch right now. Maybe I should go back to playing TFT. Also, wait, okay, as long as we're here, somebody made a comment and was like, hey, I got to Master Ball and I didn't realize Ally Switch is frowned upon. I'm working on, like, reforming my ways and, like, working on, like, building a new team. And I want to say, like, I don't like Ally Switch as a move, but I don't have anything against people who use it. Like, if you want to use Ally Switch, go for it. Like, it's frustrating to play against, but, like, you're not a bad person or a bad player for using it. So, whoever that was, yeah, like, you can keep using Ally Switch. Like, it's totally fine. I was just saying I don't think it's healthy for the game. I don't like it for the game, but just cause if there's a broken option in a game, it's not, you don't have a moral responsibility not to use it, right? Like, I hate Xerneas more than anything. I really hate Xerneas, but, like, I was never, like, mad at people for using Xerneas. I was mad at the, you know, Xerneas for existing, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I have nothing against people who use Ally Switch. I just think the move itself is flawed. That's all. Anyway, most of them are, 2/3 of Dusclops are running Ally Switch. That's something to keep in mind. Nothing really super surprising here outside of that. And, wait, no, I'm going to take it back. Where is Haze? Do people not run Haze anymore? What? It's not even on here. Why no Haze? Oh, I know Haze. The teammates are weird as well. Wait, this is not what I would have expected. Okay. Well, Alakazam is a Dusclops counter. I'm very confused. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very, very confused. What on earth? I don't know. No, I don't know why they aren't running Haze. Can we check a Showdown? Are they running Haze on Showdown? Okay, at least Haze is being used somewhat on Showdown, but again, Bulldoze. Okay, it seems like we're trending more towards the weakness policy set for Dusclops, so that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about Dragapult. Dragon Dart, Phantom Force, Fly, Protect. Would mean Life Orb is, yep. So when you see Fly up here, that means Life Orb is more common. If you see Acrobatics, that means the weakness policy is more common. However, interesting. Dragon is actually the 5th most. So that tells us when you see Ally Switch on Dragapult, that means that 10% of people are running, at least 10% of people are running support Dragapult. This is supported by a very similar number of running Ally Switches running Surf. We should see Beat Up somewhere around here as well. Yep. That means Colossal's probably around here somewhere, and Terrakion and Virizion are also somewhere. being used with it. So about 1 in 10 Dragapult, or maybe probably between 1 in 10 and 1 in 5 are running some kind of support Dragapult. Like because we see screens on here as well. Yeah, and I mean even defensive Dragapult run Dragonites. So interesting stuff for sure. This will tell us we would expect about 12% of all Dragapult to be running support sets based on this. Maybe slightly higher. I don't know why you'd run Wide Lens though. Maybe for Draco Meteor. Or, yeah, I don't know. Maybe like between 12 and 20% are probably running support sets. So, yeah, between 1 and 10 and 1 and 5. That's actually kind of close there. Dragapult doesn't look that different from the normal stuff. Kind of just looks like standard Dragapult stuff. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's changed too much. Paired with Rillaboom relatively often, but and Amoonguss, obviously, but the others are still kind of similar. Yeah. Hang on, I want to look at Whimsicott again. Or I want to look at Amoonguss. How often is it paired with Whimsicott? 60% of the time? Okay. I'm just curious about typing stuff for my own reasons. We were talking about Whimsicott. T-Tar is running Weakness Policy. No surprises there. You'd expect most of it to be Weakness Policy. Lash Out is now the Dark Type move of choice. That makes sense. It's a very powerful move. You'll lose some power when you're not intimidated and stuff, but in general, it's probably worth it. And then, yeah, the rest of the stuff is just standard. Togekiss, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Dragapult, Rillaboom. Excadrill's only paired with it 23% of the time, which is a little surprising. It's the 6th most used mon, or, yeah, with it, but... yeah. All interesting stuff. Back to Showdown. Let's go back to in-game. Okay. We're going to talk about Porygon2. Marowak, number 10. Paired with Trick Room Setters, Porygon2. So I guess if you since Marowak is such a strong offensive Trick Room Setter, I guess pairing it with Porygon2 makes a lot of sense because you really want Trick Room up. And once Marowak is very strong. Poltergeist. I'm actually surprised Poltergeist isn't used more, but I guess some people get spooked, so they run Shadow Bone as well. It's paired with Rillaboom, but with... oops, that's not what I wanted. It's paired with Rillaboom, number 4, but when you run Rillaboom with it, you have to be very conscientious of knockoff, so you can use Poltergeist. So here's what I'm seeing. It seems to me, like, just looking at the usage stats, that Porygon2 and Indeedee female, Hatterene, and Marowak is a very solid defensive Trick Room team. Not defensive. You have Indeedee and Hatterene for Trick Room stuff, and then, like, as your Hatterene is your offensive Trick Room user with Expanding Force, and then you have bulky Trick Room Center in the back. And double Expanding Force is pretty good. I mean, very good. Obviously, we to Rillaboom, though, so... huh, yeah, that makes some sense. Urshifu keeps popping up, but I still don't know what it does. What's Urshifu's usage? So I've gone through the top 10. Weird to me that Amoonguss is number 11 on Battlespot. Weird to me that all this... it's weird to me to see Indeedee male so high, I'll be completely honest with y'all. Kingdra actually is high... wait, Kingdra's higher than Politoed? That doesn't make any sense. Am I crazy? That doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, here's the Urshifus. Let's take a look at them. Scarf. Okay, it's mostly Scarf. That's what I actually predicted with this one, if you guys remember one of my Urshifu guide. Crocodile? Okay, no. Slowbro Galar. Weird. Mostly Scarf. And then but, like, honestly, it's mostly Scarf, but unlike other things, like, the usage is all actually pretty evenly distributed. Like, Scarf, Belt, Sash, Goggles, like, they're all, like, between 12 and 16%. Band, Assault Vest, like, all of these items are pretty evenly distributed. What's Venusaur doing right now? Mostly Life Orb. Mostly Life Orb? Wait, only 4% of Venusaur are Sash? What's going on? What has happened since I've been away? What are you guys doing? 45% Life Orb? 4% Sash? What? Counters Kingdra? I mean, I guess Hurricane, but number 1 counter is Kingdra? Kingdra is my Venusaur answer? 100% Chlorophyll. Let's go. Okay, I don't know about this. Let's look at the water one. Okay, mostly Sash in the water one. Surging Strike, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, Iron Head, Thunder Punch. Detect is not even used. I guess Detect and Protector split here. Combined, they'd be 36%, would be the 4th most used. Yeah, that makes sense. Paired with Rillaboom, paired with Togekiss. I gotta figure this thing out. I don't know if it's good or not. I think it's bad, but I think it might be good. If I was like a really big YouTubist, like somebody super huge, that's like, I would see that taken. I would see that out of context. That would be like a meme, I'm sure. Alakazam is actually pretty high in use. Alakazam is getting more usage than Venusaur. 100% usage in Expanding Force. All right. I think this is pretty much what I wanted to see. I've got a pretty good idea of what the top of the ladder is using. Let's just take one through last look through Showdown and kind of like 10 through 20 on Showdown. Don't understand a GD Mail, but whatever. Dragovich is some usage. Politoed. Urshifu water for me is up here, but Urshifu... okay. 6% of teams, 10% of teams. Lapras has fallen off. Politoed. Not as much Politoed as I would have expected, but maybe people are still figuring it out, or maybe it's not as good as I thought. Huh, okay. So, all in all, it looks like there's been some pretty major shakeups, both in the Pokemon that are used and in how we're using the Pokemon. Togekiss having offensive things, whatever the heck is going on with Venusaur, which I'm going to have to figure out because I don't know. A lot of weird stuff going on right now, I'm not going to lie to you all. So, definitely interesting. I'm definitely very curious as to, like, how this is going to impact, like, what the meta actually looks like, because this is not what I expected. I'll be completely honest. I didn't expect High Jump Kick Cinderace to be #1 most used move. It doesn't make any sense to me. 88% of people are running High Jump Kick Cinderace. I don't get it. Why? Do you need it? What are you hitting with it? It's not even powered up when you max. I guess you want to raise your attack, but I don't know. Just pair it with Bisharp or something. Wait, teammates? It's not even paired with Bisharp? It's not even paired with Bisharp? Oh my god. Is it paired with Milotic? Bro, I don't understand anything. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. I don't understand anything. This is very not what I expected. Anyway, with all that being said, I think that's pretty much it. This is just kind of my initial look. This is what I was going to do anyway, so I figured I may as well record it and share it with you all. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything that's surprising to you, and if you want to see more of this kind of content, let me know, because, yeah, I have more prep to do for the Players' Cup, clearly, so, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next video. Goodbye.